Hello guys, this is Christian and you are welcome back to the Don't Have channel. If you haven't joined this community yet, then smash on the subscribe button and join this community. So in our last tutorials, we were able to create our front-end template. So what you are going to be dealing with next on this tutorial is we are going to use our model we created in our previous tutorials to pass in data from our backend to our front-end template. Alright guys, so before we continue, I want us to make some changes. So let's go to our header.ejs. I want us to comment this link. It's actually causing some distortion in our front end. So I want us to now open our terminal. Once it opens, let's type in nodemon app to run our server. Now let's go to our web browser and type in localhost port 3000. Press enter. See, now we are getting our front end. So now let's go to our Visual Studio Code and inside our app, inside the first route we created, I want us to now use our model to set up our default items we created. So we are going to now call on our item model we created, and then we are going to find everything inside. Once we find, let's now call our callback function. So we are going to check if the found item dot length is equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, then it means it's empty. We can now insert many, and what you are going to insert is our default item we created. We are going to give it an error callback. So we're going to check if there is an error. Then we are going to console log that error. But if there is no error, then we are going to console log a message saying successfully saved. So now let's come down here and redirect to our first page, which is the same page, right? So after it's done inserting the default items, to redirect to that same page again, right? Else, so if it's not empty, then we want to send our found items to the front end, right? So let's render list. And the list has the list title, which says today. And aside that, it also has a new list items. which will be the found items, right? So let me copy and paste to avoid any typo. All right, then here is supposed to be a comma. So we are going to check if the found item is empty or not. If it's empty, then we are going to insert many, and we are going to insert our default items. That is item 1, item 2, and item 3 into our item model, right? And then when it's done, we should just console log successfully saved, and then now redirect to that same page. But if it's not empty, then we are going to render the list, right? So the items we have to our front end. And then this one is supposed to be index, right? So now let's go to our index file. We are going to use our EJS tags here. So inside here, instead of hard coding it, we are going to use our EJS tags. And then the name is going to be. And then we will close our EJS tags right here. So we are going to pass in the list title, which is this one, the today, to our front end, and we are going to use it inside this h1 element, right? And then above this form, I want us to use our EJS tag again. So new list, right? Let's go and copy it to avoid any typo. So we will copy this, then we will come and paste it here, and then use a JavaScript function called for each. And then inside the for each, we are going to call it item, right? And then we are going to call a callback function to it. And then right here, we are going to close the EJS tag. And below here too, we are going to open and then close. Right, and then I want us to now copy the form. We are going to cut it and paste it inside the new list for each form. And then inside here, I want us to use the EJS tags again. And then this time around, it's going to be item.name. Right. Now we can save it. Then now go to our app.js. And we can save this one too. All right, so now let's go to our web browser and refresh it. Here we go. So now we are getting our welcome to the Don't Hub community. Hit on the plus button to add item. Hit on the check box to delete item. So what we've done so far is we called our model item here, and then we find all the items inside that model, which is basically 3 items: item 1, item 2, and then item 3, right? And then after finding them, we now redirect them to the front end template, which is the EJX, right? And then we use list title and then new items to be the things we are passing to our front end. And inside it, we use the list title here and then the new list items here. So for the case where it's empty, for that one we want to insert many, which is the default items. We want to insert them here, and then now give us the console successfully saved. Once it doesn't give us the successfully saved, it's supposed to give us an error, and we're able to catch that error to here. Alright guys, so we've been able to push our default items from our backend server to our frontend template. So in our next tutorial, we are going to look at how we can post our items, or we can add new items. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button if you haven't, and join this community. If you have any question, leave them in the comment section below.